the lesson Dangers of Drug Abuse. This lesson is an essay written by Dr. Hadin B. Jones. First of all, let's have a quick look about this writer.
Hadin B. Jones was born in Los Angeles, California. He was a professor of medical physics and physiology and assistant director of Donner Laboratory, University of California. Dangers of drug abuse is a timely warning to the modern society.
Okay. See, this lesson is an essay. Through this, the writer describes issues related with abuse of drugs. We all know that drugs are here for medical purposes. Drugs are used to cure diseases. But often there are issues. See, though use of drugs for medical purposes is advocated, its abuse leads to lot of dangers. Which are these dangers? See, it includes both mental and physical issues. Let's see which are these issues. Right? Which are these physical problems or which are these mental problems out of misuse of drugs?
It disturbs the healthy functions of the brain and body. The pleasure mechanism fails to respond to the use of drugs. Drug addicts develop discomfort and personality changes. They lose their sense of being alive. It affects brain functions directly. Injecting drugs using dirty needles causes infections. The addicts often feel that people are looking at them strangely. Overuse of drugs can bring in liver diseases, venereal diseases, infections of the kidneys and brain, lung diseases, and even cardiac failure.
Now, these are the main points of this lesson discussed by Dr. Hadin B. Jones. Just you read this text from first to last and have a complete thorough idea about it. Okay. I think now we can go to the textual activities. Let's answer all questions given in the textbook. Okay.
Why do people believe in drugs? Answer. People believe in drugs because they think that any sickness of the body and mind can be healed by taking a pill. Number 2. What is the danger of overdependence on drugs? Answer. When people become overdependent on drugs to solve their problems, they lose their capacity to deal with life situations through perseverance, self-discipline, and mental effort. Some people think it is foolish to expend energy on solving a problem when there is an easy way out. Number 3. What is Hippocrates' chief contribution? Answer. Hippocrates was the first to say that a remedy must take into account not only the symptoms of the disease but also the constitution and habits of the patient. This is his chief contribution. Number 4. What is the distinction between medicines and essential drugs? Answer. The difference between medicines and essential drugs is simple. Essential drugs are those that the body doesn't need, but they give the user a strong sense of pleasure. Essential drugs activate the brain's pleasure centers. Medicines are those that cure or prevent diseases. The body needs medicines but not essential drugs. Number 5. How do essential drugs act on the human body? Answer. Sensual drugs activate the brain's pleasure centers. It is the brain that governs sensations, moods, thoughts, and actions. Sensual drugs upset the normal working of the brain and give the body a false sense of pleasure. Number 6. What is the danger of severe addiction? Answer. A drug user's craving for the drug continues, but he feels less and less satisfaction. His brain's pleasure reflexes are by artificial stimulation. In severe addiction, the pleasure mechanisms fail to respond to drug stimulation. The drug then gives only relative relief from misery. Number 7. Why does the craving for sensual drugs persist in an addict? Answer. In an addict, the pleasure mechanisms fail to respond to drug stimulation. The drug then gives him only relative relief from misery. So he wants more and more drugs, and thus the craving persists. Number 8. How does the brain govern sensations, moods, actions, and thoughts? Answer. The brain governs sensations, moods, actions, and thoughts by an unbelievably complex series of chemically regulated controls. Number 9. Why does the addict suspect everything external? Answer. The addict suspects everything external because he is in a state of paranoia. He does not know the source of his problem and he looks for its cause in everything but himself. Anything outside scares him and he draws further and further into himself. Number 10. What are the symptoms of the addict's sensory deprivation? Answer. The symptoms of the addict's sensory deprivation are a general feeling of physical discomfort and personality changes. The addict feels depressed. He fails to respond either to his environment or to other people. His mental disturbance can be like a paranoia. Number 11. Why do addicts press their fingers deep into their bodies? Answer. Addicts press their fingers deep into their bodies because their sensations are lost and they want to reassure themselves of their own reality. Number 12. Name some drug-related health disorders. Answer. Drug-related health disorders are many and varied. Dirty needles and solutions used for injecting drugs can cause abscesses in the arms and veins. They can cause liver disease, venereal disease, and infection of the kidney and brain. Sniffing cocaine and amphetamine can damage the tissue of the nose. Marijuana and tobacco smoking can cause lung diseases. Babies of women addicted to opiates are likely to be born addicted and to suffer from withdrawal symptoms. Cocaine and amphetamines cause hair fall. Marijuana can damage cells. A drug addict can easily get pneumonia, tuberculosis, malnutrition, and weight loss. An overdose of any sensual drug can cause respiratory or cardiac failure and death. Number 13. How do drugs affect women addicts? Answer. In addition to all the ill effects that men have from drug abuse, babies of women addicted to opiates are likely to be born addicted and to suffer from withdrawal symptoms. Number 14. How do sensual drugs affect brain cells? Answer. Sensual drugs affect the chemistry of brain cells. Cell function is carried out by thousands of enzymes acting within each cell. Each exposure of the cells to psychoactive drugs alters their chemistry. Toxic chemicals can upset the brain's intricate system of communication. They can also damage cell tissues. Toxic effect may be permanent. Number 1. How does the belief in drugs lead to drug abuse? Answer. Drugs were discovered to prevent and cure physical diseases and reverse the disturbances that occur in some mental illnesses. The power of drugs has led people to believe that any ailment infective or psychic can be relieved by taking a pill. At the first sign of nervousness, they try pep pills. Medical journals now advertise tranquilizers, amphetamines, and other mood altering drugs. Doctors prescribe them and people expect miracles from them. This excitement over drugs leads to drug abuse. Number 2. What are the principles put forth by Hippocrates in relation to the use of drugs? Answer. Hippocrates, the Greek physician, is regarded as the father of medicine. He was the first to say that a remedy must take into account not only the symptoms of the disease but also the constitution and habits of the patient. As per this teaching, medicines must suit the disease and the patient. When there is a disorder, only a drug that specifically mitigates that disorder should be used. The drug should also have restorative effects, otherwise, it will unbalance healthy functions of the brain and the body. It means a healthy person cannot benefit from taking a drug. He said, persons in good health quickly lose their strength by taking purgative medicines. Number 3. How does the sensory deprivation of the addict express itself? Answer. The sensory deprivation of the drug addict shows itself in a general feeling of physical discomfort and in personality changes. The addict feels depressed. He fails to respond either to his environment or to other people. His mental disturbance can be like paranoia. Number 4. How does the addict look upon external objects? Answer. The addict knows he has a problem, but he doesn't know the source of his problem and looks for its cause in everything but himself. He looks upon external objects with suspicion. Anything outside scares him and he draws further and further into himself. Number 5. Do you think addiction to drugs will result in identity crisis? How? Answer. Addiction to drugs will definitely result in identity crisis. An addict feels that others look at him strangely. When people smile at an addict, he thinks they are laughing at him. An addict may even lose his sense of being alive. He feels dead inside. Once, a rehabilitated heroin addict told the writer, looking out of the window, the sun is shining. The flowers are in bloom. These are signs of a good day. But pressing his chest, he said, I don't feel it here. Addicts often press their fingers deep into their arms or legs to reassure themselves of their own reality. Their sensations are lost and they look for drug induced sensations. Describe the mental as well as physical impacts of drug abuse. Drug abuse has both mental and physical impacts. The drug addict experiences sensory deprivation. He has a general feeling of physical discomfort and there are personality changes in him. The addict feels depressed. He fails to respond either to his environment or to other people. His mental disturbances can be like paranoia. The addict knows he has a problem, but he does not know the source of his problem and he looks for its cause in everything but himself. He looks upon external objects with suspicion. Anything outside scares him and he draws further and further into himself. There are also drug-related physical disorders. Dirty needles and solutions used for injecting drugs can cause abscesses in the arms and veins. They can cause liver disease, venereal disease, and infection of the kidney and brain. Sniffing cocaine and amphetamines can damage the tissue of the nose. Marijuana and tobacco smoking can cause lung diseases. Babies of women addicted to opiates are likely to be born addicted and to suffer from withdrawal symptoms. Cocaine and amphetamines cause hair fall. Marijuana can damage cells. A drug addict can easily get pneumonia, tuberculosis, malnutrition, and weight loss. An overdose of any essential drug can cause respiratory or cardiac failure and death. Do you think that the addiction to drugs will destroy not only the addicted but the entire humanity? Justify your answer with a special reference to the modern context. I certainly think that the addiction to drugs will destroy not only the addicted but the entire humanity. I say that because even if a single member of a family is addicted to drugs, the entire family feels bad. A family doesn't live alone, as many families are connected through blood relations or marriage relations. The unhappiness of one family spreads into other families. Families will start restricting their children from having friendship or any kind of relation with the drug addicts and their families. This way, there will be a cascading effect, spreading unhappiness all over. Drugs are a burden on society as they can't contribute anything positive. They suffer from all sorts of mental and physical problems and they look at people with suspicion. Love, affection, mercy, sympathy, etc. slowly disappear. Drug addiction especially happens among the youth. Once the youth of a country are unable to carry out their responsibilities, the nations will be in jeopardy. Drug addiction leads to distrust, fights, and wars which will ultimately destroy humanity. That's all. Thank you.